And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes from Jaden Mercado, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Freddy Kuerger or Itachi Uchiha? Let's get something right out of the way right now. While Freddy does have some level of power in the real world, it is greatly muted, so his ability to warp reality and, just affect people is basically almost null and void. He does have some capabilities, but they're very limited. Itachi would wreck shop with him in the real world. That's obviously not where the question of the fight takes place. Because Itachi, obviously being a trained ninja, a killer, having Sharingan and Mangekyo, Susanoo Amaterasu, Tsukeyome, as well as the actual fire style jutsu, and numerous amounts of genjutsu, which just wreck shop with Freddy Kuerger in the real world. Now, what we're actually looking at here is it'd have to be in the dream world for the real fight to take place. Now, because Freddy is basically the Sandman, and he's been given this job, the guys who gave me this job, the Dream Demons, he can do pretty much anything in the dream world. He is not bound by any rules or limitations. If you can imagine it, it can happen. Whereas most people are not bound by such rules. They are limited. Even those who can lucid dream and therefore control the aspects of their dream. I'm going to just adjust this a little bit, get a little bit more Itachi in the picture. Those who can control their dreams still only can control them to a limited amount, like we see in Dream Warriors. It's still to a limited degree. Like, when it's like, in my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad. I'm super strong. Yeah, well, how about in your dreams you can literally just snap things out of existence or turn something into a parrot or weirdly enough, it was the nerd kid, the superhero or I can't remember if he was a superhero or like a wizard, that at least had more imagination than the rest of them. So even though lucid dreaming can help, it's really not any good if you are limited by your own constraints and imagination. This leads us into Itachi. Itachi would still have all of his theoretical abilities, but because if he realized he's dreaming, Itachi is very smart and capable and strategic to the point where he might be able to go into a lucid state and be able to control his dreams to the point where it's like, no, I'm not going blind. You seem not to understand this, Mr. Kuerger. And all of a sudden, like, Itachi just appears. It's like both a combination of genjutsu and the dream world combined. It's like, what the earth? It's like, come on. And it's like, I'm hitting you, but I'm not hitting you. It's like, understand, if you can control this world, why can't I? It's like, that would probably be the scenario. The question now becomes, can Freddy outmatch Itachi in terms of what's going on in the dream world? Freddy's got the advantage because of the amount of experience and time he's spent in the dream world, whereas Itachi probably has an advantage just by the straight amount of stuff he can throw at Freddy from the get. Unfortunately, it's near impossible to actually kill Freddy in the dream world. Because no one's ever done it, first off. Now, if you are someone like, say, Dream itself from DC, the physical embodiment of dreams themselves from the Sandman comic series, that would be a very different fight, which I don't think looking over it, I don't think I've ever had that happen, or I've had someone suggest that fight. It'd be a good fight, honestly. But yeah, Itachi would basically be throwing stuff out at Freddy, who doesn't know anything about this, but immediately, gets hit. It's like, he'll get hit by the fire. It's like, come on, you think this stuff hurts? This is how I was born, bitch. And, he comes in and blasts through the fire, but Itachi immediately puts up Susanoo, perfect Susanoo, because he is not constrained by anything in this world. And Freddy just crashes into it. It's like, oh, you think you're so tough, huh, bitch? But I can do that too. And his glove turns into a Susanoo glove. He just clashes with Itachi. So ultimately, see, if this is just a long-term, drawn-out fight, I do not see it actually going well for Itachi. However, there's a catch here, is that Itachi would possibly be able to figure out, at any rate, to wake up, or maybe even trick Freddy into saying something he shouldn't, because Freddy, as far as we can tell in the entire series of the Nightmare series, never went up against anyone who has any sort of illusion genjutsu capabilities. Now, because of the dream world, I think it's very likely that, and I got Straight hair there. Hold on. Loose hair? There you go. Yeah, I'm noticing it like corner of my eyes, like, it's gonna bother me. Freddy never went up against anyone who could cast illusion or put him under hypnosis or anything like that. So while he could probably realize what's going on and get out of there, I think there's a real scenario, again, existing in the dream world and Tachi taking advantage of that, where he's able to use his genjutsu, be it Izanagi, Izanami, whatever, or just Sengetsu, and actually get the information out of Freddy where if you could wake up while holding me, you can bring me in the real world. What? Wait, why did I say that? What did you do? He comes out and maybe even gets a legitimate slash against Itachi, who, in the real world gets a slash across his chest. So I think there's a scenario there where, he just suddenly does that and using genjutsu and just sheer willpower, just boom, wakes up finally. What? Where? Oh, no. It's like, no. It's like, and all of a sudden, Tachi, suddenly his real Sasano is activated. He just his holding phrasing, yes. And it just crushes him right there. I think the advantage here is mostly in Itachi's favor, but if he's unable to drag Freddy into the real world, it's going to go to Freddy just because he's going to outlast Itachi, I think. That is the downside with Freddy is that, or going up against Freddy, is that he can pretty much allocate his abilities to whatever you're doing. But at the same time, he's not invincible. He's not infallible. Like I said, he's never gone up against anyone who's got hypnosis, genjutsu, illusion capabilities. So someone who could draw information out using that, like Itachi, even for a short while, would be able to garner what his actual weakness is and be able to capitalize on that. So for my money, I'm actually going to go with Itachi on this. Because if the fight takes place in the real world, it's game over. And the fight is going to just basically be him getting Freddy into the real world. This isn't a Freddy versus Jason scenario or Freddy versus Michael Myers, where they're generally speaking human, physically speaking. And it would be a much longer, drawn-out fight. But, yeah, this is someone who's got super abilities by human standards and could take advantage of that. So, for me, I'm going Itachi. Who do you got in the fight? Let me know. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.